In the quiet town of Franklin, Tennessee, the morning of May 18, 2005, began like any other, serene, unremarkable, and steeped in the familiar rhythms of suburban life. But by the end of that day, a discovery so chilling would unravel the community's sense of security, casting a long shadow of horror over its peaceful streets. Martha Imbell, a beloved librarian at the local high school, known for her warm smile and unwavering dedication to her students, vanished without a trace. As the hours passed, worry turned into panic. By the afternoon, the unthinkable was confirmed. Martha's lifeless body was found in a secluded area of Franklin Park. Her once vibrant presence was reduced to a bloodied, lifeless form. The brutality of the scene was unimaginable. Signs of a violent struggle, severe injuries, and, chillingly, parts of her body were missing, as if she had been the victim of some monstrous act. As the investigation unfolded, the facade of normalcy that the town of Franklin clung to so dearly began to crack. The revelations that followed exposed a web of dark secrets, shocking even the most hardened detectives, and leaving the community forever changed. This is the story of Martha Imbell, a devoted mother and cherished friend, whose life was brutally cut short by a darkness she never saw coming. It is a story of hidden horrors, of a mother's worst nightmare realized, and of a town grappling with the unimaginable. A real-life horror story that would leave an indelible mark on all who encountered, where we delve into the most haunting and perplexing criminal cases. In this episode, we uncover the chilling events that led to Martha Imbell's tragic end and the deadly secrets that shattered the peace of Franklin, Tennessee. Martha Imbell was more than just a librarian. She was the heartbeat of Franklin High School. At 46 years old, Martha was known for her passion for books and her unwavering commitment to her students. She believed in the power of education and strived to ignite that same passion in the young minds she encountered every day. Her colleagues admired her dedication, often remarking on her ability to connect with students who struggled academically or personally. To them, Martha was not just a librarian, she was a mentor, a friend, and a beacon of hope. Outside of work, Martha's life revolved around her family. She was a devoted wife to Thomas Imbell, an insurance agent who worked tirelessly to provide for their family. Together, they had 3 children, 17-year-old Jace and 8-year-old twins, Cricket and Boost. Martha's love for her children was evident in everything she did. She was the kind of mother who always put her family first, whether it was helping with homework, planning family vacations, or simply spending quality time together. Yet, despite the seemingly perfect family life, there were underlying tensions, particularly with Jace, her eldest son. Jace had been struggling with severe psychological issues, a burden that weighed heavily on Martha's heart. She had noticed changes in Jace's behavior. He had become withdrawn, spending more time alone and engaging in dark, disturbing online communities. Martha had tried to get him the help he needed, battling with insurance companies and healthcare providers. But it was a fight that left her feeling helpless and alone. As May 2005 approached, Martha was busy planning a summer vacation for her family, a trip to Disney World that the children were excited about. At work, she was wrapping up the school year and organizing a book fair to encourage summer reading. She appeared to juggle her responsibilities with grace. But behind the scenes, Martha was carrying the weight of her son's struggles, unaware of the dark path it would soon lead him down. Jace Imbell was once a bright and promising student, but as he approached his late teens, his behavior began to change. He became increasingly isolated, preferring the company of his computer and online communities to that of his family and friends. Martha noticed these changes and was deeply concerned, but her attempts to connect with Jace were met with resistance. His involvement in dark online forums, where he engaged with others who shared his morbid fascinations, only deepened his disconnect from reality. Jace's mental health struggles were compounded by substance abuse. What had initially seemed like teenage rebellion soon spiraled into something more serious. His marijuana use exacerbated his psychological issues, leading to hallucinations and delusions. Despite the challenges, Martha never gave up on her son, clinging to the hope that he would eventually find his way back to her. Thomas Imbell, Martha's husband, was a hard-working insurance agent who loved his family deeply. However, his demanding job often kept him away from home, leaving Martha to handle the challenges of raising their children on her own. Thomas was aware of the growing tension between Martha and Jace, but he struggled to balance his professional responsibilities with his role as a father, often missing the warning signs of Jace's deteriorating mental state. The twins, Cricket and Boost, were only 8 years old. They were full of energy and innocence, unaware of the dark clouds gathering within their home. They adored their mother, who always made time for them, helping with school projects, attending soccer games, and planning fun family activities. To them, life was simple and happy, a testament to Martha's efforts to shield them from the troubles surrounding Jace. The days leading up to May 18, 2005, were filled with the usual routines. Martha was excited about the upcoming vacation and busy preparing for the end of the school year. However, beneath the surface, tensions simmered, particularly with Jace. Jace had been spiraling into a world of his own making. His fascination with dark online communities that glorified violence and cannibalism was growing. The more he engaged with them, the more detached he became from reality and from his family. His drug use only worsened his mental state. Martha was aware of some of these issues, but had no idea of the full extent of her son's descent into darkness. On May 17th, Martha and Jace had what seemed like a normal day. They briefly discussed his summer plans and upcoming exams. Martha, as always, tried to offer encouragement, but Jace's responses were distant, almost robotic. That night, while the rest of the family slept, Jace retreated to his room, immersing himself in the online world that had become his reality. The morning of May 18, 2005, started like any other. Thomas left for work early, unaware of the storm brewing within his household. Martha got the twins ready for school and prepared to head to work herself. Jace, however, lingered in the house, his mind clouded by the dark thoughts that had been festering for months. By the time Martha was supposed to be at work, she was nowhere to be found. Thomas received a call from the school, informing him that Martha hadn't shown up. Concern turned into panic. After failed attempts to reach her by phone, Thomas reported her missing. The search for Martha Imbell began immediately. Local authorities, led by Detective Sarah Owens, known for her meticulous approach to cases, responded quickly. The news of Martha's disappearance spread fast, and soon it was all anyone in Franklin could talk about. Volunteers combed through parks, trails, and neighborhoods, hoping to find any trace of the beloved librarian. Later that afternoon, a local hiker stumbled upon Martha's body in a secluded area of Franklin Park. The scene was gruesome. Martha had been brutally attacked. Parts of her body were missing, leading investigators to initially suspect an animal attack. However, forensic analysis soon revealed that this was not the work of an animal, but of a disturbed human being. Detective Owens, along with Officer Mark Davis, took charge of the case. They immediately secured the crime scene. The brutality of the attack pointed to a crime of passion or a ritualistic killing. As the investigation deepened, attention turned to those closest to Martha, her family. Thomas Imbell was the first to be questioned. Visibly distraught, he struggled to comprehend the loss of his wife. But his alibi checked out. Thomas had been at work when Martha disappeared. His phone records confirmed he had been trying to find her. There was no evidence linking him to the crime. Attention soon shifted to Jace. His erratic behavior and inconsistent responses during the police interview raised red flags. Investigators dug deeper into his background, searching his room. What they found was shocking violent drawings, notes revealing an obsession with cannibalism, and a blood-stained baseball bat, the likely murder weapon. During a second interrogation, Jace, in a delusional moment of clarity, confessed to killing his mother, chillingly adding, My mom tasted like Lunchables. The arrest of Jace and Bell sent shockwaves through Franklin, Tennessee. The once safe community was now a place marked by horror and grief. Jace's trial was a painful ordeal for the family. His defense attorney argued that Jace's severe mental illness, worsened by drug use, had driven him to commit the crime. The prosecution, however, painted a picture of a young man consumed by dark fantasies and violent obsessions. Jace was found guilty of first-degree murder. The judge, considering his mental health issues, sentenced him to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years, along with mandatory psychiatric treatment. For Thomas and Bell and the surviving children, life would never be the same. The once close-knit family was shattered, and the community of Franklin was left to grapple with. The case of Martha and Bell sparked important discussions about mental health ***, particularly the challenges of getting help for those who need it most. Schools in Franklin and beyond began implementing more comprehensive mental health programs, ensuring that students had access to the resources and support they needed. Martha's tragic death became a catalyst for change, inspiring the community to take action to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. Jason Bell was transferred to a high-security psychiatric facility, where he received ongoing treatment for his mental illness. The facility's doctors worked with Jace to address his psychological issues, but the road to recovery was long and uncertain. Jace's case highlighted the critical need for early intervention in mental health care, especially for young people who are at risk of developing severe mental health disorders. The aftermath of the trial left deep scars on the Bell family and the Franklin community. For Thomas Bell, the weight of his loss was almost unbearable. He had lost his wife to a brutal murder and his son to a mental illness that had spiraled out of control. In the quiet moments when the house was still, the absence of Martha's presence was a constant reminder of the tragedy that had befallen them. Tom knew he needed to be strong for his surviving children, Cricket and Boost. The twins, at just 8 years old, struggled to understand the loss of their mother and the absence of their older brother. They had questions that Thomas found difficult to answer, and he feared the long-term impact this trauma would have on their young minds. The community of Franklin, which had always been close-knit, was left reeling from the shocking events. Neighbors who once felt secure in their suburban lives now looked at their town with a sense of fear and distrust. The news of Martha's murder and the subsequent trial was covered extensively by local media, and the story soon gained national attention. People across the country were shocked by the gruesome details and the tragic circumstances that led to such a horrific crime. Despite the pain and confusion, the Bell family found support in their community. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers reached out to offer their condolences and help in any way they could. Vigils were held in Martha's memory, and the local church organized a memorial service that brought the community together to grieve and find solace in one another. In the years following the trial, the Bell family worked hard to rebuild their lives. Thomas, determined to give his children the best possible future, sought therapy for himself and the twins. He also took an extended leave of absence from work to focus on healing and providing a stable environment for his children. They moved to a smaller house in a neighboring town, hoping a change of scenery would help them start fresh. The case of Martha and Bell also sparked important discussions about mental health, particularly in the context of adolescence. Schools in Franklin and beyond began implementing more comprehensive mental health programs, ensuring that students had access to the resources and support they needed. Martha's tragic death became a catalyst for change, inspiring the community to take action to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. Jason Bell was transferred to a high-security psychiatric facility where he received ongoing treatment for his mental illness. The facility's doctors worked with Jace to address his psychological issues, but the road to recovery was long and uncertain. Jace's case highlighted the critical need for early intervention in mental health care. especially for young people at risk of developing severe mental health disorders. As we conclude this episode of True Crime Case Files, we reflect on the heartbreaking events that unfolded in Franklin, Tennessee, in May 2005. Martha and Belle's life was tragically cut short by a son who was struggling with severe mental health issues, compounded by substance abuse and dangerous online influences. This story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of mental health awareness, early intervention, and the need for accessible resources for those in need. Mental health is a critical issue that affects millions of people worldwide. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges, please don't wait to seek help. There are resources available: counselors, therapists, and support groups that can provide the assistance needed to navigate these difficult times. Remember, reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. We also encourage communities to come together to support one another in times of tragedy. It is our collective compassion and understanding that help us heal and move forward. Let Martha and Belle's story be a catalyst for change, inspiring us all to advocate for better mental health care and to be vigilant in recognizing the signs of distress in those around us. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Stay safe, take care of each other, and always remember the importance of mental health and community support in preventing such tragedies.